Stay tuned to the end of the episode to hear Brannon's a cappella cover of Lizzo's Like a Girl. Hi, welcome to episode 9 of Binge Moto. Back once again is Brannen Butts from the Action Motorcycles channel. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to Brannon's channel. And if you haven't already subscribed to Binge Moto, do that as well. There'll be a link in the description for Brannon's channel. So I highly recommend it. He's got a lot of cool videos over there, a lot of ride stuff, a lot of drone shots and cool stuff like that. So how you doing, Brannon? What's going on?
Doing good, man. It's another week. I rode my talking about the last episode. I rode my Cafe Racer Street Fighter to the gym today, so that was nice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was a fun
you
little ride.
get fully geared up to ride at the gym?
Well, I mean, look, I mean, I mean, I don't put on like the race boots or whatever, but admittedly, I only wore jeans. I didn't wear like any like protection on my legs, but I wore my jacket and my helmet. So, oh,
It
I did not ride in shorts and tennis shoes, if that's what you're asking.
right. No, I did. Usually when I ride my bike to the gym, I will wear um sweatpants or whatever.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't wear any protection on my legs. I do usually wear the jacket and the helmet, which I can just shove in the bag when I get there. But it's pretty close to here, so I don't know.
That's
I'm
cool.
sure if I ever wipe out, I'm going to be like pissed at myself. But
Going to the gym?
yeah, there used to be a gym at the front of my neighborhood. I mean, it was literally 9/10 of a mile from door to door, and it was only like 300 feet outside of the gate of my neighborhood. So I would just wear shorts. I would be like, I don't, if I wreck up my neighborhood, it's on me, like I know it happens. It happened to Tom, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but anyway, so, I
My gym,
actually,
my gym's pretty cool. My gym's got dedicated motorcycle parking,
yeah, mine too.
so
That's like the
that's
hack
kind of
because
fun.
it gets so crowded in the afternoons that you can't find a parking space for a car. So if my wife's not going, I just take the bike and I can
There
just
you go.
park right in front of the front door there. Yeah.
There you go.
That's the hack. Yeah.
Well, how
Yeah.
about
So
you?
it's
How's your week going?
good. This last weekend, I actually, I got in this new group on Facebook. I think it's called Tampa Bay Motorcycle
Cool.
Riders or something like that. It's crazy how these groups pop up because I've been an admin on a group that we have like 700 members, but it's been, 5 years or whatever. This guy started this group and within 3 weeks, it's got like 1,000 members and they do a ride every Sunday. Like, I
Wow.
mean, I imagine if it's pouring rain, they would cancel it or whatever, and this was the first time I've gone on a trip with them. And it was a long one. It was they started in, I know you don't live around here, but they started in Pinellas County and then they rode all the way through Hillsboro, Pasco, which is where I picked them up here, and then all the way up to Cedar Key. It's from where they started, it was probably 160 miles the one way. I joined on, it was about 120 something miles from where I went. So it was like a 250-mile day for me. Um, the last time I went to Cedar Key on a bike, we did it as an overnight trip, and these people did it like in one day. We rode up there and had lunch and turned around and rode back. So, and
Very cool.
yeah, Florida's always hot, but it never gets to be an actual 100 degrees here. But Sunday was an actual 100 degree. It was the record. It was the first time it ever actually hit 100. And it was like feels like 115 or something like that. So it was, and there was no clouds. It was like a beautiful sunny day, but just pure heat. Yeah, oppressive heat.
Yep,
So
that's pretty much where I live in Houston. That's exactly what it is. So there's a bunch of ride groups here. I'm terrible about that. There's the Houston Ducati group that I follow all their stuff or whatever, but it's
right.
just it's tough for me with little kids to like be like, oh, it's Thursday night, I'm going to drive an hour and a half downtown to hang out with folks and then drive all the way back. It's just hasn't
Yeah,
been feasible yet, but I'm going to make it happen at some point.
I'm not huge on big group rides, but like the other groups that I'm in, they haven't been doing a lot of rides lately, and I thought it'd be cool to meet some new people. I
Yeah,
actually
cool.
only knew one other person, and so I picked up with them, like I said, at like the mid stop point or wherever, because there's a lot of people up in the northern part that didn't want to ride all the way down there to turn around and ride back. So they had two start points, and there was like, I don't know, 16 of us waiting up there, and then like 20 more bikes came. So it was like 30 something bikes,
Wow.
mostly cruisers, a lot of Harleys. There was 3 or 4 Indians and a couple of sport bikes and a couple, adventure bikes like mine. But there were
Y-
like 3 of these Indian Scout 101s or 101 Scouts.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
never
you were
really
telling me about
seen
that.
one. It's kind of the Scout Bobber looking style, but it's got like a quarter fairing and a really cool paint job, and it's got a new engine. It's like 111 horsepower and 80 foot-pounds of torque. So,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, it's a little. I mean, it's 550 pounds, but so was my Bonneville, and it only made 80 horsepower. So I'm sure it gets up and moves. Cool looking bike though.
Yeah, one of my dad's friends just got a new Harley, and so my dad's got a Harley in the garage too, along with the Multistrada, and so they got those out and riding them around, and he was laughing at me because I told him the other day on the Two Lane Life channel they just got a third bike. It's a 2025 Road Glide Ultra, and it's pretty good looking. I'm not really a big cruiser guy, big Harley guy.
Right.
Respect it all or whatever. It's just not my jam, but that one's looking pretty good. So he was like, "So when are you going to come out and ride with us on the Harleys?" I'm like,
Yeah,
not yet, not quite yet."
yeah, I'm not quite a cruiser guy either, but I think I've told the story before. Like that's actually what got me back into motorcycles. I saw one of those Scout Bobbers. I mean, probably like 10 years ago when they first, started making them again.
Yeah,
It came pulling on the interstate next to me, and I was like, "What is that thing? That's cool looking," And so I've always kind of had that little in the back of my mind, And I saw this new model, and I'm like, that's really sharp looking. It does have forward controls, which is not really my thing, but um, it's got dual disc Brembos in the front, adjustable
okay,
suspension front and back. Um, but
nice.
I clicked on, like to get because they always come with a little single seat. So if you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
get
yeah,
that king queen seat where your wife could come along, because I'm like, hey, my wife, maybe it's be a little easier for her to get on a lower bike, instead of having to climb up
yeah,
that
yeah.
8AV bike. So you put that seat on there and you add this, you add that. Next thing you know, it goes from 14,000, it's like 18,000 out the door, plus dealer fees and tax. So now I'm like, it's $20,000 for a bike that's a little bit faster than a Bonneville, So maybe if I find a used one in a couple of years, I'll look into it.
You'll finally get the dream. It's funny you talk about kind of bikes that are not your comfort zone, but out of your normal style. Because I've been watching a bunch of cafe racer stuff, stuff in London, whatever. So all the Triumphs, all the kind of the chopped up cafe style stuff. That's not really my style, but I guess maybe a little bit more than a cruiser. So
Right.
may end up biting the bullet on one of those one day just for that same reason. So I've got my wife. You mentioned last time I was on that your wife was cool with the motorcycle stuff. I've got my wife is amazing with being cool with me having 3 bikes and going all over the place or whatever. But not really. The Street Fighter, I like. It's actual work to put the cowl on, to put the other seat on, so I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And then the Desert X, I'm already on my I'm only barely putting 1 foot down anyway on that thing. There's no way I'm putting up a passenger on that bad boy. On the Desert X, I actually deleted my passenger seat and put I got a short video about it. There's like a from B&B Off-Road in Australia. There's like a secret compartment, little lift up, flat plate under there. So that's a cool mod that I put on the Desert X. Hats off to the B&B guys. They've got some awesome equipment, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess the Himalayan. I guess my wife could come ride with me on the Himalayan, but that's the only
Yeah.
one where I've got a real option at this point.
Right.
It could do it though. I love that bike. It could do it. It might not
It
be
could
going
do it.
fast,
Yeah, it could
but
do it.
it could do it. A little bike that could.
Maybe not on the freeway, but
Yeah. Actually, it's funny. I was actually talking to my dad about the Himalayan today. I am dying to go do an adventure training course just to kind of freshen up skills or whatever. They have one
right.
in Austin. And my dad was like, "Do you really want to take the Desert X and drop it all over the place while you're trying to do new tricks?" I was like, "Well, I got the Himalayan. Maybe I could put the Himalayan out to Austin for one trip, and then if I drop that, I don't care, and it'd probably be a lot easier to manage than the Desert X anyway." So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm always on like marketplace looking for like either that's the problem when you're into motorcycles. You're always like, "Oh, I would love to have a Himalayan. Oh, and I also want a cruiser. And I also want, one of these naked sport bikes or whatever, So
Well, so politics aside, the big beautiful bill that was just passed.
yeah.
Um, it allows you, I think, up to $10,000 a year writing off your interest on American made or assembled cars. Also includes Harley Davidson.
Oh, okay, not Indian.
So, well, maybe it includes Indian. I
Yeah,
would be shocked if it didn't include Indian as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But American bikes are in there too. So basically, what that bill's saying is for the next 3 years, the government's going to finance your Harley, which is a pretty slick deal.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know. What's the emoji here? You do it at the same time. Yeah, that emoji. It's like,
That's my favorite emoji, by the way. I send
oh
that
yeah.
about 3 times a day. The guy grabbing his chin. Yeah.
Well, I learned that I'm officially old now because I send the thumbs up emoji and I'm not ironic. Apparently, the kids these days think that's super rude somehow.
Yeah, no, the millennials hate that. It's passive aggressive to them or something. What I always do if somebody sends me the thumbs up emoji, I always click on it and thumbs up the thumbs up. Just to double down.
Yeah, well,
Gen X style. I don't care.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. Speaking of Harley and Indian, this coming week is the 85th annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally in Sturgis, South Dakota. You ever
Very
have any
cool.
interest to go see that or?
Well, uh, we were talking before the episode, and you were talking about possibly going out there, not during the crowded time. I actually work took me out there a couple years, well, a couple years ago, 15 years ago. So I actually did stop by, and it was a little bit of a ghost town or whatever, but it was super cool. The Harley Davidson dealership is enormous, out there or
Well,
whatever. So very cool.
I mean, at least according to Google, the town population is only 7,100 people, but during the bike week, they get an average of 500,000. And in, I guess in 2015, I'm sorry, yeah, 2015 was the 75th anniversary. They had 750,000 people there,
Crazy,
750,000 people. That's,
crazy, crazy.
I mean, they must just import people for that week to work it, right?
Oh
There's
yeah,
no,
you have to.
yeah.
I'm sure all the bars fly people into work, and I mean, that's the hotels, and I think everybody's doing
I mean, how are there enough hotels
Airbnb and
though?
say what? Well, I think everybody just Airbnbs it, or whatever.
Yeah, I
At least
guess
that's what
maybe.
at least that's what I've seen when I watch Two Lane Life and the Thrash and Supply guys. They always get a house or whatever for the week.
I
I wonder
guess
I
if
wonder
you,
if it's like Augusta when the Masters comes by, and
yeah,
everybody
people rent their own
gets the
house
hell out
out.
of town, and
They go out of
yeah,
town. Yeah,
3 years of that and their house is paid for, 3 more years and their kids' college is paid for.
right. Yeah, that would make sense because my wife's like, well, where does everybody stay? And I'm like, well, I know a lot of people camp, but yeah, I guess people must Airbnb their own houses. Yeah, but even
Hats
still,
off
like
to the folks that do that.
there's only 7,000 people living there. Like, how many houses could that be for 500,000? Obviously, the 500,000 people are not there all at the same time. It's over the whole week. People come and go or whatever. But still, that's pretty bananas. I yeah, I don't know that I will. I guess I've been a few times to Daytona during Bike Week,
Yeah.
but I've never stayed there. I haven't like gone for the weekend or whatever. But just driving through it for a day, because it's only like 2.5 hours from my house. Um, I I just never I never feel comfortable. To me it's well, one day Daytona's super hot, so you're just sweating your ass off. It's a traffic jam. The entire town is a traffic jam.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nowhere to park that, without paying $50 or whatever. And it's just a bunch of kiosks selling silver jewelry and leather belts and hats and,
Well, hey, listen, maybe you'd feel differently if you had a road glide or something like that. But
yeah. That's the thing too.
yeah,
There's also 10 billion road glides there with their huge sound systems all playing different music at the same time. So you're stuck on the street, you're on your bike, and it's like one guy's got rock rap over here and the other guy's got country. And of course now country has rap in it. So you got all these, you know, these
they're all
fighting
they're all
rap
they're all
songs.
blasting each other.
Yeah, blasting each other. Yeah. So
Well, I'm sure there's some of that in Sturgis. One would imagine it's probably a little bit of a different crowd. Um,
well,
I'm
it's a
sure there's some of
destination
that,
too.
but
It's I mean, obviously people ride from all over the country to go to Daytona. Um, and in Florida, Daytona has kind of a reputation as being like a dirty town. I mean, nobody's like, "Ooh, I can't wait to go to Daytona." It's it really is kind of like I don't know. I mean, I live in Tampa. Tampa's got a good rep, I think. Miami's like the big city, and then but Daytona's kind of like that. It is kind of got like a reputation of like a dirty biker town, like
The
so.
Hooters of towns.
Yeah, the Hooters of towns. Yeah, a Hooters started here in Clearwater, by the way.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, cool. Yeah. So I think I would enjoy going to Sturgis under the right conditions. I would feel obligated to ride, at least the
Yeah,
first time. No judgment on the people at trailer, but I would certainly feel obligated to ride out there. Um, under the right conditions, I think it would be fun. I think I could probably something makes me feel like it would match what I say about Vegas. Vegas is great for 48 hours.
right.
You get out there, you're excited, you're checking everything out, do that first night. Next day, you're hungover all day, but by the end of the day, you're able to go have fun again. By that next day, yeah, the shower's not washing the dirt off. I need to get home. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you know,
we went out there a few years back with like I met my high school buddy out there and his family, and I brought my wife and kids, and we had a place for like a week. And we tried. We went to Grand Canyon. We went over here. We went over there. But man, that was a long week. By the end of that week, I was just like, you know, all you do is walk, and it's hot, and
no, no.
how many casinos can you look at? Like
Well, if only the Moto Compacto was small enough to fit in the Harley compartment, then you could just have the Moto Compacto to get around. But alas, they don't make them quite that small yet. So,
right. Well, that's why they got scooters and stuff now.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. I no longer. When I was a kid, my dad loved Vegas, so we used to go there like every year. Like
Really?
he would go there multiple times a year. He loved to play craps or whatever. And so, I had like my 10th birthday was in Vegas, at the Circus or whatever.
That's
So I
crazy.
mean, I went to Vegas a million times growing up. And then like when I got old enough to gamble, I went a few times. And the worst thing to happen to you when you're that age is you win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I
you're
went out there
done.
with my dad, and I was playing craps with him, and in like a 10-minute stretch, I won like $1,000 when I was like 22, and I was like, wow, that's so easy. And then the next
Why
year I
isn't
went back.
everybody doing this?
Yeah, I went back the next year, lost $1,000. Went back the next year, lost $1,000. Every year, and I was like, Why do I keep going back? I'm like $10,000 in the hole now.
Yeah.
Uh,
So Vegas is, I had never gambled before. I was, a good, sweet, innocent boy, and then work brought me out there. And in 2007, we had a major project out there, and I went to Vegas 5 times in 2007 on my
yeah,
company dime. So hotel was free, airplane well free, but hotel
yeah,
airfare I was working, but I was skipping breakfast, saving my per diem, eating chips for lunch. So I had all my money to spend, at nighttime or whatever. I'd go to the casino and try and do some blackjack or whatever, and got hooked. But
yeah. And
what are you gonna do?
back then you could do like $5 a hand, but it's
Yeah,
hard to find that now. You go in there, it's like $20
15.
a hand.
Yeah, 20, $15, $20 a hand. Yeah,
Yeah,
unless you go to Old Vegas, and that's cool if you want to do that too. But
right.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you
there's a
what now.
casino.
Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Yeah, I say there's a Hard Rock casino here in Tampa. It's on the reservation, and they've got blackjack and stuff there. I don't know. I've walked through it a few times. I've lost my taste for gambling now. I'd rather spend it on motorcycles. Yeah.
So to turn it back to motorcycles, one thing I have not done and I'm dying to do is to go to Vegas and rent a bike and ride, because it's supposed to be really good riding in and around town, west of town or whatever.
Well, my,
Um,
my buddy Jose Peralta, who was on episode 2, I think, or three. Anyway, he him and I have been talking about like this October possibly flying out there, renting like a Harley or whatever, and then just riding up through, go to Utah, do the $1 Million Highway back down to like Sedona, and then back to Vegas. We could do the whole loop in like 5 days or whatever.
cool. That's a cool
Yeah,
ride.
yeah. So
That's a cool ride.
we're looking at it. We'll see. I got a
Well,
lot of stuff planned.
rent your Scout Bomber.
Yeah, yeah. If they've got one, I would. Yeah, yeah. Okay. That's the problem though. Like it starts pile. The year comes quick. All of a sudden it's July, and I'm like,
You mean all of a sudden it's August? I mean, we're July's done, brother.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be August, and tomorrow, the next day, whatever. So
Yep. Yep. Yep.
yeah, and then the next thing I got the rally, and then the barber festival, and then all of a sudden then it's October. Like
Yep.
Crazy
Yep.
how
Yep.
fast it
Yep.
happens. Yeah, yeah.
Now at the end of October, it always coincides with Halloween and my daughter's birthday is the Lone Star Rally in Galveston, Texas, which is the biggest rally in Texas. I think it's number three after Daytona for the country.
Right.
And hopefully I can get down there and at least walk through that for a day this year. We'll see what happens. We'll see
Yeah,
what
that
happens.
sounds cool. Yeah. So, what what are your plans? I heard you're thinking about going to London. What's going on with that?
Yep, yep, yep. So, um, got some more interesting stuff with the bike shed. It looks like I'm going to try and get out to see the bike shed here in the next month or so. Fly out to London. Hopefully, I can bring my dad with me. No plans as of yet. Well, no official plans. He's got the idea of renting bikes and riding up to the Isle of Skye and riding the Isle of Skye and back down. That turns it into more of a week trip instead of a weekend trip. So,
Yeah.
like I mentioned, my wife's really cool with me going places and stuff like that. But the kids are getting ready to go back into school, so we got to figure out what's going to work. But I'm dying to go check out the bike shed and um, uh, see
Yeah,
the
we
folks
mentioned
there.
it briefly on the last episode. So it's basically it's a motorcycle themed. You can ride the bike right into the.
Yeah, well, so I mean, it's I mean, they kind of talk about their mission is to preserve moto culture, and they're kind of this thing's kind of come out. They have this amazing bike shed show or the bike show every year. Um, at this place called the Docks. Absolutely, kind of a bike culture explosion, heavy on the cafe racing, British London kind of stuff, which is great, which is great. But
Right.
they created this thing called the Bike Shed, and it's a cafe, restaurant, barber shop, kind of members club. But when the entrance, everything in London's kind of funky, with all these properties. So the entrance, you actually drive in and you have to drive past all the tables where folks sit and have their meal or have their full English fry at breakfast or whatever with the bikes. All the bikes are kind of constantly going back and forth. So
So
super cool.
is it a members only kind of club, or can you
No,
just
no,
go in there?
they have a members area and you can join for extra perks and you get to sit in the front row when Charlie Borman talks or whatever, but um um and it's open to anybody. I don't
Okay,
even think you
cool.
have to have a bike to go there. I think you just walk in. They may I don't know if there's reservations or anything like that,
Right.
but super cool. And I mean, there's videos you can go look at everybody can go look it up online. It's super cool. And they opened up one in LA a couple of years ago as well. It's got a little bit of a different vibe. It's actually got a tattoo parlor in it as well,
Yeah, yeah.
which is super cool because that's if you go there as a destination, it's pretty tough to say I'm not going to skip that. You'd pretty be like I better do that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so I'm looking to hopefully check that out, and so stay tuned. Maybe we'll do some stuff from there, and then I'll get back from that, and then before we know it, man, we're going to be in Tennessee, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, the Motorcycles Map Fall Rally. It's last week of September, right?
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
I
So
think it's the 26th or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, we got to get coordinated too. So I'm going to actually ride to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And so if you want to just meet me and my pop in Atlanta on the morning, whatever the Thursday or Friday, whichever morning it is.
Yeah,
Um,
Thursday. It starts on Thursday. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we can just if you meet us in Atlanta, then we'll ride up. We can ride up together or whatever. If
Yeah,
we can
sounds
time it
good.
right.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah,
plan. I was going to try and leave Wednesday evening
okay.
and get to Atlanta. So
Cool.
perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Hey, how about that, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
Real coordination here. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we've
just like we
actually
said
never
last
met in
time.
person.
Yeah, yeah. People probably don't believe that, but
Yeah, we came close last year when I was on my cross country trip. I went right through your town, but that was the same weekend you took your daughters to Disney.
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna
Yeah,
do?
yeah,
That was
yeah. So,
by the way, this is, Benjamin, I know you do some, movie reviews and some other things that are non-motorcycle related. Just since you mentioned that, we stayed at the Grand Californian Hotel,
right.
with that Disneyland. Oh my God, what an amazing experience! Like level up and above and beyond experience going and staying in that hotel and being tied to the park right there was like we're already talking about going back to Disneyland again instead of going to Disney World next, specifically because it's so easy and all and great. So
Well, they've got a lot of those resorts here in Orlando as well with the attached hotels and I have some crazy Disney friends, that I got friends that like go every weekend kind of, they get the year pass or whatever.
I just go all the time.
I just, yeah. I have one friend who they just go to the resort. They don't even go in the park. They just go stay there, they go to Orlando and they stay at the park, and there's like because they got the Animal Kingdom there too,
Yeah.
and they've got a resort attached to that where you can actually get a room overlooking the safari area where all the animals are just walking around, the giraffes and the rhinos or whatever. But yeah, I don't
Yeah, I
know.
mean,
I
at the
it's
Grand Californian, we did a character breakfast at the hotel, and we did a princess meal at the hotel, and so both of those were on the hotel property, not on the
yeah,
so really we could have pulled it off. I mean, obviously you're not going to do that with little kids. They're going to go to the rides and everything, but we could
right.
have pulled it off and gone to the thing.
Yeah, I think when my boys were young, we did a character breakfast at one of the hotels here in
Yeah,
Orlando. But
yeah.
yeah, one after a certain age, I mean, I grew up here in Florida, so Disney was like an every summer kind of thing. Um, I I see these people going to the parks now, and I'm just like, you couldn't pay me to go, because we got Universal and they got a lot of great rides and stuff, but it's just so miserably hot, and
Yeah.
and then now they've got all these fast passes that you have to pay extra for, or if you're staying at the hotel, you get one for free, your room key, and yada yada.
All the
I don't
stuff,
know.
whatever.
And then you end up spending like $1,000. I'm like, I could have gone to Paris or whatever, like and go to Disney World.
Well, hey, what you got to check the box though.
Yeah, no, I mean, when you got kids, you got to do it. So I'm glad mine are grown up now.
Yeah,
They're
I
willing
got
to
one.
travel. We take them other places. It probably costing more money, but
That's right. That's right.
yeah, yeah,
Well, yeah. So speaking of the bike shed, I've been doing some research. I don't know about you, but talking about destinations. I am trying to compile a list, and maybe your listeners, and I'll put this out on my next video. I'll put this out on my channel also, but maybe your listeners could write in and provide some names of some must see or must go to motorcycle cafes or kind of motorcycle, in the culture destinations like the Ace Cafe, like the Bike Shed. In Houston here they have Wolfsmith in the Heights, which is kind of like its own. They'll work on bikes, they build bikes, they'll fix your bike, they'll give you some coffee, you can buy a t-shirt, you can park wherever. It's very 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 cool. And there's a bunch of them here that I've kind of been digging up, but a couple that I wanted to mention and shout out. There's one called One Cruisers Boulevard in Idaho, where you drive through the bar.
yeah,
So that's pretty cool. And then I finally found the footage. I got to get the video put together, but I had some damaged footage. But I went to Jane Motorcycles in Brooklyn last year, and was those guys were kind enough to sit down for a quick interview. So I've got to get that posted. But I know, isn't there a new Ace Cafe coming in sometime or
yeah.
somewhere?
So the one in Orlando, they had built. It was a big building, but it was like on a chunky piece of property, like right in the middle of the city,
Yeah.
and they knocked that entire building down. I think they're putting up a high rise or something. But I guess either the owners or the new owners, they're building one in downtown Sanford, which is
Okay.
it's like a little city next to Orlando. It's 20, 30 minutes from there. Um, I saw it when I was at that rally a couple weeks ago. I think I might have mentioned it. It was hot as heck that week too. There was some motorcycle YouTube guy. Why not Zach? Maybe is that his name? I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's got a huge following. Um, and one of the guys in my Tampa Classic Riders group is a younger guy. He's like 23, 24. So he follows him. He's like, oh, we got to go to this thing and bring our Triumphs, to represent. And it was literally like a million sport bikes, and then the three of us on Triumphs or whatever. But crazy though, crazy amount of people that showed up for that thing, like especially like right there in the middle. It was like at noon, in the middle of Sanford, Florida, right in the center of the state. Um, but yeah, the new Ace Cafe was right there. It just wasn't quite open yet, but they had put a pop-up tent there, and they were selling T-shirts, and the guys were saying it's gonna. I guess they've been hosting like meetups and rides like out in the parking lot, but they're gonna be open pretty soon.
Cool,
So
man.
yeah.
Maybe
So
maybe
speaking of motorcycle destinations, when I was out in Portland a couple years ago, and a friend of mine, a motorcycle guy, he's like, "Oh, you got to go to. It's called One Moto Cafe, and
Oh, I think I've heard about that.
it's a coffee shop." And my buddy and I, we just took a little side trip over to it one day when we were in downtown Portland, and it's a really cool shop. They've got like It's like a multi-level thing, and they've got all these old records all over the walls, and then they've got like shelves covered with custom painted motorcycle helmets, and then they've got posters, and they've got old
Oh,
bikes, sitting in the corner and up on the shelves, and I think they host some pretty big events there during the year too. But
okay.
it was a cool place that I definitely, if you're in the northwestern United States, to swing by there and check it out.
But like every state probably has two or three of those,
Yeah,
that only they know about or whatever. I mean, I don't know, maybe New Hampshire and Delaware are thin, but maybe not. I don't know.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but it seems like, I know the gal that does Doodle on a Motorcycle. Um, I know she did a channel for a while, like Motorcycle Destinations or something. But it seems to me like that would be a really interesting part of the culture to experience and to check out, and kind of try to curate a list of all the places we all ought to check out if we're ever riding through New Mexico or Vegas or wherever,
Right, right. Yeah,
not
that's
just
a
a
good
Harley
idea.
detership.
I I'll let you do that. That could be your side project.
Yeah, I'll get right on that. Yeah. Hey, it's on the list. It's
Maybe
on
we
there.
could add them to like the Rever app.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'd be good.
For all we know, they're already on there. We just don't know how to click it. You know what I mean?
It's very possible.
That's very possible. Yeah,
Very possible.
yeah. Yeah, it was totally random. Like I just happened to mention this. I think I posted on Facebook. I'm heading to Portland, and this guy's like, "Oh, you got to go to this place," and I was just like, "Okay." And so I put it on the list, and yeah, yeah,
That's
it was a
cool.
cool place.
But we should. I mean, the motorcyclist map has cool destinations, and like a lot of that's like landmarks and things like that. But thinking about it though, maybe putting out a call to the folks on Motorcycles Map to be like, hey, where are the moto gathering places in your town or where you live.
Yeah,
Maybe we
that's
can
a
do
good
that.
idea. We happen to know somebody over there, so maybe we can get
We
that
know we know
done.
we know one or two. And
Yeah.
maybe they'll let the post live. We'll
Yeah.
see. Maybe we'll
So
get one.
yeah, if you guys haven't heard, we've talked about it before. Motorcycles Map is not only a massive Facebook group with like over 100,000 people, but they also have a really cool app you can get on your phone, which has routes and rides, and it has access to the rallies, the spring and the fall, and destinations and all that kind of stuff. It's a cool app.
Yep. Very cool. Very cool.
And I did sign up. I'm going to be a sponsor for the fall rally. So
Excellent.
yeah. So
Excellent.
look
Excellent.
look for
Yeah,
my little digital icon on there.
I've got to see if I can pull one up here. I'm gonna have some limited edition stickers. I should be saving this for my own channel, but I'm gonna show you guys. So
Oh, you can show them again.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. So with the Ace Cafe, you've heard us talk about the Ton Up Boys that
Yeah.
built cafe racers to go 100 miles an hour. Well, I've not built my own bike to go 100 miles an hour. I purchased bikes that go 100 miles an hour allegedly.
Yeah.
Um, so I am not a ton up boy. I am just a turnip boy.
Turn up boy.
Yeah, just a turnip boy there. So I've got some custom stickers I'm gonna give out at the rally, and hopefully I
Yeah,
can give some
cool.
of those out in London as well.
I'm gonna put one of those on my bike.
Yeah, go for it, baby.
Yeah, yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, just a turnip boy.
Just a turn up boy.
That's
Yeah. Do you have any binge worthy recommendations for this week?
Oh gosh, you're gonna have to go for it. So we're still going through Ted Lasso. Um, let's see. I just found, oh my gosh. Um, it's not a binge worthy TV show. Um, it- but it's a channel that I found that you guys have got to go check out. It is two folks. They're currently riding through Japan.
Oh,
It's a couple that they're currently riding through Japan. Um, and they stopped at some really awesome places. They stopped at the Red Baron, motorcycle kind of hotel where you park the bike in your hotel. Um, and they just stopped at the coolest place. It was this motorcycle museum that this guy curated for a number of years before Honda or Kawasaki had their own museums. And let me tell you, what a fantastic episode. They met this guy. He was willing to meet with them. Very, very cool. Did I talk about this 2 weeks ago or no?
no, no, but do you
Okay,
remember
cool.
the name of the show?
Well, I'm gonna look it up for if everyone will just bear with me, or if you want to cut this out. So, the channel is called Ori, ORI, and Kaido, Kaito, Moto Adventures. I think they're leaving Japan soon. But they went and met with this guy who curated the most motor he's got like 600 bikes in this museum, and it's just it's insane. And at first, it's almost like, "Oh, this is overwhelming," but, like, once they're in there for a little while, you're like, "Oh my god." And then in between all that, they're riding across Japan, so really, 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 really cool content, so I've been super into their videos lately.
Did you ever watch the Norman Reedus show, Ride with Norman Reedus?
Off and on, I've not watched it to completion.
Yeah, so there was he did I think 2 episodes in Japan, which were pretty cool. Um, and they hit a bunch of those places. That's a good show. It got kind of screwed up by the pandemic, like
Yeah.
it just wiped it out where they couldn't do it for a couple years. But and I'm not sure if they're gonna bring it back or not. But yeah, if you haven't seen Ride with Norman Reedus, it's on. I think it's on AMC. It's the guy. He's the guy from
From Walking Dead, so
The
that's
Walking
yeah.
Dead plays Daryl, and he's got all these guys that you don't know, all these actors you don't know that are like his friends that also like to ride, and he'll meet them. A lot of the episodes are in the United States. He'll ride through Atlanta or ride out to California or up to PCH or whatever. Or here the not the PCH, but
Hey, by the
but then
way,
he did a
quick
bunch in
note,
Europe, and he's done them in Australia and New Zealand.
if there was ever a man who was born to play a post-apocalyptic crossbow expert, it is Norman Reedus. That man was
Yeah,
born to play that look and to ride, beat up chop motorcycles on in the zombie apocalypse. That's what a great cast.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy because he's got to be pushing 60 now, and he's still got that same greasy. I mean, he must have some good stuff. His hair looks like it's never been styled, but he probably spends 5 hours a day getting it just right where it's over his ears or whatever.
So it's so funny because he played a different kind of greasy guy, motorcycle guy in his cameo in the Bike Riders or whatever.
Oh, yes, right. Yeah, with
Like,
all
so
the
he showed
rotten
up in that
teeth.
also. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like, oh my god, how many different versions, alternate realities of this guy are there? So, but awesome actor and super cool dude. Super cool dude,
Yeah,
and
no, he seems
friend of
like a really
motorcycles,
nice
that's for
guy.
sure.
Yeah, like actually the very first episode of Ride with Norman Reedus ever, he rode up PCH and he ended at Motorcycles and Misfits at the Recycle Garage, which is how I found out about their podcast. And if you guys have
Cool.
never listened to Motorcycles and Misfits, it's a motorcycle podcast where they have just random people, like they'll have 4 or 5 people on at a time, and it's got 1 or 2 hosts, but just they have a garage there where if you show up on your bike, they'll help you fix it. Like
That's cool.
yeah, and they
That's
they give
cool.
away gear and stuff, and but yeah, he went there and did an episode with them, so it kind of
But
put them on the map, and it also you know establish his show.
it's kind of goes against my pet peeve of motorcycle movies always being about some sort of bad guy or bad problem. Um, but boy, wouldn't it be cool to have a motorcycle movie with Keanu Reeves and Norman Reedus, like being bank robbers that ride motorcycles or something.
Yeah,
It
so
just it seems like those two are so much in the culture now. Boy, that
yeah,
would be a cool jam.
yeah. Keanu did an episode of Ride. They rode out. I think they were in the Southwest. They rode through like Utah or
I
somewhere.
feel like that's the one that I saw. Was that? I think
Yeah,
maybe they're like sitting in the street or something, or sitting on the
yeah,
blacktop
yeah.
or
They
whatever.
pulled off the road. They were just sitting there on the side of the road talking or whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Super cool.
Keanu seems like a decent guy too. Like everything I've seen about him. But you said you're working your way through Ted Lasso, so that actually brings you right around to my recommendation, which is also on Apple Plus.
Okay.
It's a new show with Owen Wilson and Mark Maron, and Tim Oliphant plays a kind of a nemesis in it. It's called Stick.
Okay. Okay. I know nothing about it other than it's clearly about golf.
Yeah, so they're trying really hard to get the Ted Lasso vibe, kind of guy
Okay.
down on his luck, and he's a former golf pro that you don't find out till later why, but he just completely blew his career up one day. He punched out this other guy, made a huge scene, and then left the tour and never came back. And now here he is, like 20 years later. His ex-wife's trying to sell the house, and he sees his kid at the driving range, and the kid is just blistering the ball. But the kid don't want to talk to him. He's like, "Leave me alone, you creepy old man," and he just runs away. And he tracks the kid down because he's like, "You're the next Tiger Woods, I
Next,
want you to
yeah.
let me help you," you know.
Okay.
And so then it goes from there. Just has to convince the kid and his mom, and there's a reason why the kid didn't want to play golf anymore because his dad was. So that it's the whole thing. So there, it's a kind of a feel good, you know, people getting together trying to. They go on the road together in this RV, trying to qualify him as an amateur. Um,
Okay.
but it
But so
it
far, it's pretty good so far?
it's good. I finished the whole season. I think
Okay.
they're definitely doing a season 2. Um, the end of the season's great. Like, it starts off a little bit slow, but I think overall it's so it's not Ted Lasso levels, but if you like Owen Wilson, he's prime Owen Wilson in this, all of his
Wow.
wow, yeah, yeah, all of his funny mannerisms and stuff, and he's got some pretty good scenes where he
Oh,
yeah, golf, yeah. It's a good show. I recommend it, especially if you like that vibe. You finish Ted Lasso, you're looking for something that's a little more lighthearted and uplifting.
cool.
It's a good follow up for it, and it's a typical sports thing. There's ups and downs. You're like, oh, he's never going to make it. Oh, somehow he pulled it out, kind of thing.
So,
So
just because you brought that up, because you brought up Owen Wilson and Feel Good, this is one of my very favorite movies, and people might think I'm weird for saying this, but The Royal Tenenbaums. Have you ever seen The Royal Tenenbaums?
so yeah, I it's weird because I love my one of my favorite movies ever is Grand Budapest Hotel.
Awesome, excellent. Yes, take your hands off my lobby boy. That's yeah.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
what an unbelievable line of dialogue.
I can watch that movie. Every line of dialogue in that entire movie is just
Yeah,
perfect. And so, like, every time Wes Anderson puts out a new movie, I'm like, so, I guess the Phoenician Scheme just came to I think it's his latest movie. I think
yeah. I haven't seen it yet.
it just came to Peacock or something. So it's out on streaming now. I just haven't had a chance to watch it yet. So I'm excited. My son went to see it at the theater, but I didn't get a chance. But anyway, I don't think I've actually watched The Royal Tenenbaums. So
And so Steve, so Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou is pretty good.
yeah,
I think Grand Budapest Hotel, just because Ray Fiennes is just incredible. I mean, just electric, incredible.
yeah,
But you have got to watch. So Owen Wilson plays a part. He plays a part. I mean, he's an ensemble cast
yeah.
in Royal Tenenbaums.
It's a
But
tennis thing, right?
no, no. It's the Royal Tenenbaums. It's about the Tenenbaum family, and it's basically the plot of the movie. Oh, I haven't seen it in a long time. The plot of the movie is these three genius children. This family, um, uh, this husband and wife, Angelica Houston and Gene Hackman. And by the way, so let me get to this point. You have to watch the entire movie for because Gene Hackman is such an amazing SOB in the
Yeah,
movie. Like the entire point of the movie, that's not the reason he wrote it, but the entire point of the movie is to watch and see Gene Hackman be ridiculous.
yeah.
So
He's great at that.
yeah, oh my gosh. Um, but Owen Wilson, I think, plays one of the siblings. Anyway, the siblings grow; they're genius siblings, and basically some stuff happens, and they all kind of went off into nothingness in their adulthood. Like they didn't live up to their potential, and so the movie's about this family kind of coming back together and finding a way to come back together. But so the man's name is Royal Tannenbaum, Gene Hackman,
Ah,
and he lives in a hotel, and he's kind of a slime ball. He's always got looking for an angle, and it is the best.
okay.
It is the
I'll
best.
put that on the
You gotta
list.
check it out. Yeah, you
I'll
gotta
put
check
that
it
on
out.
the list. Yeah, yeah. Now, once you mentioned Ray Fiennes and Grand Budapest, and I'm just thinking about like him with the old lady, and he's like, she's 82 years old. And he's like, she's a very passionate woman. Yeah.
Oh man, what an unbelievable
That's
movie.
what because
Eh,
when I saw the ads for that movie, I was like, who's gonna watch that movie? It looks because he's got such a stylized way of shooting things and all the colors and all that. And it just came on cable one day and I started watching it and I was like, what is this? And the next thing you know, I've watched it like 10 times, like it's fantastic. Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
As
Yeah,
far,
and
as far huh?
they accuse him of killing the woman, and he just literally turns and runs directly away from
Yeah.
camera. Like
Yeah. He just
what a great shot.
yeah, yeah. And William Defoe, I mean the cast in that movie is
Yeah,
incredible. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
The whole
Oh,
ski thing.
and Adrian Brody as the
Yeah.
son. Oh my gosh! So what a tiny little role that he just absolutely destroys.
Right. Yeah, fantastic. If you guys haven't seen Grand Budapest Hotel, I highly recommend it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's one of those movies that you see something new every time, and it's just beautifully shot. Everything is framed and shot practically, even like the crazy miniatures and all that stuff. Like it's really good. But speaking of things that look great, but honestly I didn't love was I did a review. I put out a little short review if you guys want to watch the fully encapsulated review or whatever on the channel. But I did see Fantastic Four last week on opening day with the family. Um, I was really excited for it because it just the vibe of the commercials just looks so different than all the Marvel stuff that's been coming out. And actually, I thought I thought the Thunderbolts was actually pretty good. Like
Yeah.
for a small underdog kind of movie, I was like,
Yeah, yeah,
wow, that
yeah.
was actually way better than I thought it was going to be. I kind of had the opposite for Fantastic Four. I put such a high
Too many
expectation on it.
expectations.
Yeah, and then it just became like another movie with a better style. Like I'm not going to give it. Don't worry, I won't spoil it or whatever. But yeah, it's good. It's entertaining, and I'm sure for some people it'll be their favorite movie or whatever. Um, but for me, I was just I was hoping for more.
Well, I think, unfortunately for Marvel, with the whole fumbling the guy, the director that's now taking over DC.
Yeah,
Superman just came out and blew everybody away, and
yeah,
so I
James
think,
Gunn. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, James Gunn was their boy at
yeah,
Marvel, and they fumbled that pretty hard. So that stinks for them. And congratulations to DC on that. But yeah, so I will say this: I'm excited about Fantastic Four because Galactus is Galactus, not a giant cloud of questionable stuff. I don't know if you noticed, but for a while there in movies, it's like the movie theaters or the movie companies were like, you can't have these giant, larger than life villains that are bigger than planets. Nobody will understand it. So like Galactus was in the old Fantastic Four movies was just like
yeah.
this cloud of stuff. And then the same thing with the bad guy in Ryan Reynolds' uh, Green Lantern movie was just a big blob of like you can't. And same thing with the first Hulk movie. Like you can't have a villain that you can't punch. There has to be
Right.
at least one villain that you can punch or whatever in the movie. So I don't know if they punch Galactus or not. He's a pretty big guy.
Well,
So
they do interact with him. I think the problem with the movie overall is that there's just they have a couple of like montage flashbacky things where like it's a TV show and are like over the last 4 years the Fantastic Four have done this and they did this and they you see like little highlights of them doing their stuff like him
yeah,
stretching and swinging around like Spider-Man and her using her force field
the
and
thing
turning
or whatever.
invisible or whatever, but it's not like in any context. So you're not like, there's no thrill to that. It's just like, it's like if you see a sport highlight on TV, you're like, oh, well, yeah, that
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
good
yeah.
catch or whatever, but you don't know who the bad guy is or why they're doing any of that stuff. They're just kind of going, oh, then the mole man tried to steal this building and we stopped him or whatever. And I like, who's the mole man? Yeah, I don't know. And he's in the movie later. So I think the movie's under 2 hours. And my theory is they probably had a lot more stuff filmed and then they try to get it under 2 hours
Try
so
to
people would
pace it or
stop
whatever.
complaining about it being 3 hours long or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll put out a super cut later or extended version on Disney or whatever. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of, and then, the villains have no, you have no idea. Like, I mean, if you read the comics, you might know or whatever, but like Galactus, like you said, he's just this big guy that eats planets. They kind of explain why he wants to do it, but not really. And then at certain points, it looks like he's got telekinesis powers or something, but
Sorry.
they don't, it's no problem. They really don't explain that either.
Yeah.
So you're like, and then the Silver Surfer can just fly around through space because I don't know why, like on a surfboard.
Let me tell you the concept of a Silver Surfer in the comics in the 70s or 60s, that was a badass concept.
Right.
A dude or a chick on a surfboard in space, and so it's just I mean it's just not as it's just an odd thing. So I think there's I was worried about this because in Superman they kind of worked in that kind of nostalgia, hopefulness or whatever. But in Fantastic Four, they're trying to kind of go for a nostalgia thing, but it's clearly an alternate reality.
Right.
So none of us have nostalgia for that world,
That's the thing.
So it's
Like
kind of like,
it's set on a different world, and and it seems like they're the only um super powered
superheroes.
people on
Yeah,
that planet. And so the
yeah,
four of them were like the entire planet's savior or whatever.
yeah.
They went to space, and it also seems like they were the first people to ever go to space. Like like he invented space travel in that universe because it seems sort of like the '60s ish time
Yeah,
period.
yeah.
Every except for he's got a flying car. Everyone else is on regular old like little Volkswagens or whatever, but he's in a flying car, and they've got this big spaceship, but is also capable of like light speed travel or whatever. Because at a certain point they go to like light speed in it, and I was like, you just started flying into space 4 years ago, and now you can do light speed. Or I know he's a genius or whatever, but
That's really smart.
then like the robot in it is got like its face is actually a reel to reel tape, and so like
Yeah, right.
when they go from the home robot to put it on a spaceship, they literally open the front of it and take the tape out and put the space tape in there, so that now it's a space robot, you know. So they're changing the hard drive, but it's just a reel to reel, old fashioned
Light
like a
speed.
yeah. Yeah, they're doing light speed. Yeah. So yeah, there's a few
Uh,
things in it. I was just like I said, it parts of it looked really cool. I like the style of it. But I mean, they're already gonna jump out of that universe anyway because at the end of Thunderbolts, their ship comes flying in the post credit scene.
a ship, a
It,
ship.
well, it was
It could have been another. It could. There's stuff on the. It could be another version of them.
it could be, yeah. I mean, you
You
never
know,
know. I mean, there's
if
thousands.
if the movie doesn't play right, they might be like, oh, this is
Yeah, it's
a
not them,
third
but
version.
I think they're trying to set him up to be the leader of the next um Avengers or whatever because
Okay,
they're
whatever.
filming Avengers Doomsday or whatever right now, and he's in it. They're all in it. Robert
They're all
Downey
in it.
Jr. is in it. He's playing
Doctor
Doctor
Doom.
Doom. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Which it's kind of stunt casting, but also he's a good actor, so I'm sure he'll do something good with it.
I can't remember. I can't remember if I said this on another video that we did or whatever. I still say that my dream casting for Doctor Doom is Kanye. The only person that could be that egocentric and genius acting or whatever, and and magnanimous. That's he absolutely should have been Doctor Doom, but whatever.
Yeah, well, he's kind of fallen out of favor.
Yeah, it probably not going to happen.
Yeah, probably not. Well, thanks again if you stuck with us this long. It's been a lot of fun talking with Brandon about motorcycles and Sturgis and movies and TV shows and all that stuff. And don't forget to check out Action Motorcycles. The link will be in the description of the podcast of the video and on the podcast. And look forward to Stories of London coming pretty
Yeah,
soon.
yeah. I'll let you know what the plans are there, and then hopefully we can talk a couple more times before we're out there on on the Tennessee byways.
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be fun too. Yeah, so if you haven't yet looked, download that Motorcyclist Map app and click on the fall rally and check it out. You might want to come see Brandon and I in person,
I'm gonna hang out,
and Tom
get
and Harley
get your
Hud,
very
and
own Turnip Boy sticker.
get your Turn Up Boy sticker and meet the Dark Knight of the Motorcyclist Map.
That's right.
Yeah, it can be a lot of cool personalities out there. Lots of fun rides and meals and all that kind of stuff. A lot
That's
of
right.
camaraderie.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Hey
it's
man,
gonna be
thanks for
great.
having me. A great time as always.
Yeah, well, I was talking to Brandon about this before the show, and we're trying to work out like a regular schedule with him and I, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Should be fun.
yeah,
We always have a good
yeah.
time.
So in the future, if I don't have a guest lined up for the week, I'm just gonna take the week off instead of trying to like struggle or whatever. So it may be an irregular uh launch of the podcast week to week, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Good
But
deal. Well, as we go, we're gonna get some more connections and more folks too. So,
that's right. That's right. Yeah. But
all right, man.
it's good. It's good seeing everybody. Good seeing you, Brandon. And
Too,
yeah,
buddy.
keep
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 looking
look
for action.
keep looking for action. Yeah, I was waiting for you to say it.
That's
And
right. Oh
go
yeah,
ride
yeah,
a
yeah.
motorcycle.